we hope it's going to be the same picks, the same map again. This time around, we're getting into it. We're getting into it, Dara.
Oh yeah. So already blue team kind of occupying left side of the stage, and already quick little spear combo, almost try to get something going with maybe like a couple of neutralites. Akuma and Nagi are just like so keen to get something started, right? You can get like a neutralite into like potentially like a D light or the side light even. There's just like so much potential there if you get sandwiched like that.
100%, but they are going to be doing pretty well so far. Both teams fairly evened out. Ribeiro and CL are slightly behind. Nagi is able to find a D-light, trying to go for a second one as well, but CL doing a good job resisting here. In general, both teams doing a really good job at like playing with their teammates. We're seeing a lot of close action here.
Yeah, a lot of just like really quick situational awareness to be able to follow up off of somebody and just get like that second hit, right? Right now those CL with a nice little counter hit onto Akuma. Nagi gonna be taking out one stock there and just patrolling the ground here. How does CL make it back onto the stage? Well, you know what? Axe recovery, baby. It's got that generous hitbox behind you. But what an edge guard from Nagi, who just went out there and found that side hit.
Yeah, some magnetic aerial moves coming out from Nagi. Now trying to land the ground, but CL is not going to be letting him. Nice recovery, very, very clean. Able to find that knockout, and Akuma able to get an air onto Ribeiro as well. Getting some damage here. In general, still pretty even. Nothing too crazy. We're seeing pretty even trades all around here.
Akuma right now just kind of left weaponless here, able to get one little tiny hit on CL, but none of these weapon spawns have been happening. You gotta pick something up, but that being said, Nagi taking CL all the way up the top here. Trying to see what happens next. Now Akuma on the spear. Can you actually make it back onto the stage? Really good spacing with, I believe that was the down sick. And yeah, I don't know, this is like a really even match so far.
CL building up a lot of damage onto Nagi by finding that dodge down the read, but he's still a lot ahead of everyone else. That's a 2v1 opportunity. Doesn't even need to hit that NSIG to finish up that stock. They are now pretty well ahead, I'd say.
Yeah, this is 40 stocks to 2 at this point, and I just feel like CL has been like the knight of a weapon for a little bit, who hasn't had a lot of time on stage. But now that you have gauntlets on hand, the question is, what will you be able to do here? Just looking for the next opening, maybe looking for that side light. That's a side light, and that's the GC side light back the other way, catching the dodge into the recovery. Ribeiro able to take out also Akuma stock, taking it to last stock apiece for everybody. I gotta say, like blue team, they just came alive for a second. They found the KOs that they needed.
Yeah, that's all you really need in a situation like this. Not only finding those knockouts, you know, if you let your enemy substantiate that lead, then you're going to be in a very bad spot, but they're also breaking the momentum of Akuma and Nagi. It looks like they may have been able to find it back, though, as they're starting to build up quite a lot of damage again. Akuma's starting to look pretty scary on those Katars.
Yeah, Akuma's throwing out a lot of those D-Sigs and kind of getting away with it right now. That being said, CL's doing a little something similar here. Okay, really nice, just like a GC, like, anti-air line. Catching, you know, Nagi on the way back down, makes it back onto the stage. But that is going to be Ribeiro stock gone, and so is going to be CL's soon to follow. Game 1 going to go to red team.
Very, very good coming out from Nagi and Akuma. They were really able to break the momentum of Sil and Ribeiro. But I feel like, all in all, I mean, there's no denying that this was a very, very even game. And as for game 2, I think it's anyone's game still. I
think that Nagi and Akuma just had a better start. They had a better start. They were able to get like that lead a little bit sooner than blue team was. And then specifically, they did have just a little bit more synergy in some of the like hits that they established early on, right? They were able to get some 1-piece, 2-piece, 3-piece combos. That being said, though, I don't know, I feel like the set is still like very early in its stage, right? This is like quite in its infancy, and I feel like nothing has been established that I'm like, oh yeah, this team is the one that is clearly favored to win.
Okay. We are intensifying the meta picks, Dara. CL swapping over to the Orion. From Rayman to Orion. Now only Axe, Lance, and Spear in the blue team.
Quite, quite the meta pick. I feel like that's an understatement. We have seen so much Orion, or like, you know, the crossover of Black Knight. We have seen so many D-Sigs, and now we're going to see 2 Lances. You already know what's going to happen.
It's going to be chaos. Akuma Nagi, I mean, they're not gonna have a very, very good time.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's not just life fighting lance, right? Double lance. But if there's like a weapon that does fairly okay instead, I feel like Spear does pretty alright. But that being said, game number 2 is now underway here, and Nagi and Akuma kind of stepping on each other's toes for just a little second here, dealing some friendly fire. But you get that kind of a D-Light pickup. Unfortunately, Nagi was too close to follow up off of it.
Yeah, good N-Sig finisher by Akuma there, though. Getting a lot of early damage, but it looks like... Oh, never mind. I was gonna say CL and Ribeiro were returning the favor, but this is just really, again, very, very back and forth. Crucial moment there. Akuma able to get back up against Ribeiro as well, but gonna take that N-Sig to the face, and that is leaving Ribeiro and CL with a lead this time around.
Kind of overcommitted off stage just a tiny bit, going through some of those D6, but right now, though, Akuma able to even up that stock count. Finding that stock off the side here, and there it is, baby. That sword spear sandwich. You just eat so much damage. You've eaten so many consecutive neutral hits, and you're like, wow, how did this happen to me?
Right after picking up a weapon as well. He was right on that ball, ready to make another 2v2 combo. And Akuma catching both people in the combo. Very, very big opportunity. They weren't able to get something massive out of it, but they get that little bit of extra damage, which is always really, really sweet.
Okay, Akuma able to get that D-Light, goes for the downer, but then Ribeiro just successfully dodges away from it. Looking for the recovery, doesn't actually find it quite yet. Akuma finding the whip punish with the recovery of their own here. Coming back in with that D-Sig, finally connecting and actually knocking CL off stage, left weaponless, but that GC neutralite was huge. CL was able to get both opponents off of him.
Ribeiro almost finding that N-Sig. Now Akuma in a 1v1, able to get a knockout. Super, super well played. He had like one more frame in time to have that 1v1, and he was able to find that knockout super quickly. Not an easy thing to do, but very, very important for the game.
Oh, that weapon toss kind of interrupted Akuma's edge guard attempt a little bit, right? But finding a side who doesn't take the stock off the side quite yet. That's the D-Light into the attempted N-Sig, right? And
I think it hit. I'm pretty sure it hits.
Yeah.
The N-Sig is so funky.
It just has like so little knockback that I'm like, wait, did that hit? And then I was like, okay.
At low damage, it looks like he has low impact, but at high damage, trust it does not have low impact. That'll make you go flying, though.
In the meantime, though, it just, needs a little bit of time to evolve, to marinate, right? But Akuma and Nagi, look at this combo.
Okay. Get a little something started on the bottom of the stage. Now Ribeiro and CL very, very damaged, and they're starting to look for these knockouts here. Nagi is going to be going down, though. It is going to be a one-man job. 1 versus 2. Katars in hand. Can he do it?
Actually, I dare say very well likely, and it feels like Ribeiro and CL, because of like how close to each other, they're not necessarily the ones in the lead. The double chase dodge in to then just switch up the situation. The recovery friendly fire onto CL was so unfortunate, but you press that N-Sig and look at what happens to you.
With the weapon pickup as well! Dude, that was so pro Ribeiro. Jesus, man, with the weapon pickup, that was super, super good. And now all they need to do is close the deal. Akuma, they've broken Akuma's momentum. He doesn't know what to do at this point. He's searching for any kind of attack, but...
It's not in the bag quite yet, is what I would say. It's not in the bag for Akuma, that is. That's what I was trying to say the whole time. Blue team gonna be clutching that one out, finding the quick little D-Sig. And yeah, ultimately, the 2v1 was like fairly volatile. Had Akuma just found a D-Light ground pound on anybody, if just Akuma found any closing stock on anybody and made it a 1v1, I feel like we would have seen a totally different conclusion to that game. And something I am appreciating about South America as opposed to EU, these games are going fast.
These games are going pretty fast. I mean, that's like the common denominator for SA games, is their gameplay is usually a little bit faster compared to every region for that matter. But we have another legend swap. We had the Queen Nai earlier coming out from Akuma. That is now getting swapped over to the Onyx, and I actually really, really like this legend pick. We discussed this earlier when we were watching EU. I have a prejudice against Queen Nai. I don't really like the legend. Onyx, on the other hand, that's a banger.
Yeah, we'll see how this ends up playing out. Already opening up with the cannon here, trying to go through the side of the off stage. Doesn't actually find anything off of it, though. But look at that conversion that Nagi was just so ready for. Akuma wanted to get something going as well. I love how ready Red Team is just to always follow up off of one another. They just feel like they have actual synergy.
Yeah. They definitely have like 4 eyes at the game at the same time. The level of awareness they have in the games is really good, and it's showing from their conversions.
They got like several like stacked the glasses to have as many eyes as possible on this at all times. Maximum situational awareness. The recovery not going to be able to KO quite yet. Okay.
Good damage coming out. Akuma with the clutch play, but CL able to get back, knocking both of them away. Not knocking them out, but able to get back very crucially here. If he's able to take down Akuma as well, this could be... I mean, they could have just robbed them of the lead.
But Akuma's looking for that D-Life, baby. That's not going to matter, though. Again, that same D-Sig just coming out again and again and again. Just so good at cleaning up those stocks. And right now, looking to get something going with that neutral. Akuma finding an unarmed neutral. And look at this follow-up. No. Look at this combo.
No, this is going to be bad. Okay, they don't get the knockout, but I mean, he's in red, man. He's in red. This is really bad for them. And Akuma and Nagi, they just need to focus that out. I see Nagi. He's running after Ribeiro. They're looking for any kind of attack now to be able to knock him out. Recovery coming out, that's super close. Nair
it's like Akuma. They just have like a code like activation word. As soon as like somebody like says like Delta, they're like, huh? And they just like immediately activate and they're on. Right now though, that is going to be the successful edge guard. CL stock is going to go down here. And now, how do you punish Ribeiro going back onto the stage here? Akuma coming out there with the side air. Okay, being nice and patient here. Looking for the anti-air to maybe try and catch that neutral, but didn't find anything yet. This is looking like a really good game for the red team. And the like harmony is off the charts.
Their harmony is super good indeed. Almost able to find another conversion there, and they find a conversion there. Like sidelight on cannon is kind of slow, and he gets that after sword Sayer, like right above him. Like he is preparing for these attacks before they're even happening.
Oh my gosh, Akuma had such a good idea. They were trying to like convert off of like the bounce, and unfortunately the GCD light into the ground pound did not connect. Akuma slightly misfacing that, and Nagi with a little bit of friendly fire, but no stocks are being taken quite yet.
A lot of friendly fire.
Yeah.
I think that's like 5 hits in a row that Akuma's purely taken from his team, but that's also another thing. If you are getting in a flow state as a player or as a team, you can just say like, hey, it's okay if you hit me, just do your thing, bro, because you are destroying the enemies. I don't care if I get in the way.
It's worth it. It's okay. This is quite literally taking one for the team, and in this case your teammate is the one inflicting that suffering upon you.
Yeah, no, I've seen that quite a lot, especially with people that play like heavier weapons. Whenever they're having like they're basically having a good time, they will just start hitting their teammate with like half of the moves, but at the same time they're like shredding their enemies. And at that point, you know, it doesn't really matter that much that you're dealing some team damage.
It's just to remind their teammate of their mortality, really. It's like, hey, you know, you've had this a little bit too easy for too long. I'm gonna help them out just a tiny bit. So going into the next game here, I feel like the biggest challenge for the blue team is how do you actually separate a team like red team, where Nagi and Akuma are constantly able to follow up off of one another, but we're seeing the switch to the Hattori and the cross. Whoa. Yeah,
complete change here. CL swapping over to the Luke and Ribeiro swapping over to the Hattori. Nowhere near. You would almost think that, you know, maybe the Orion player is gonna go on the other Spear Legend now, but no, both of them complete fresh new set of weapons, and we discussed this a lot earlier, Dara. Sometimes, if you have made the necessary adjustments and you think you've done all that you can against the team and they still manage to get one up on you, completely changing your team composition can be, you know, it can be a saving grace.
You gotta spice it up a little bit, otherwise it might just peter out completely. Now that being said, all of the damage at this point is basically even, but Akuma going out there and able to get that spike, and all of this damage as well. Akuma is so scary on these gauntlets, I have to say.
Very scary indeed. Wouldn't want to play off stage against that. Luckily Akuma, you know, we haven't been seeing a lot of this kind of one player stage on stage while the gauntlet player just kind of goes down and haunts every single person that ever decides to go off stage. Rather, they're sticking close together, as they always have, fighting these team combos and building up the damage on a stage through the neutral game.
Yeah, blue team is now struggling quite heavily to get anything substantial going against red team. Though, I will say Ribeiro just finding a really nice KO there with the recovery. Coming back onto the stage here, Nagi needs a safe way to land. Cider is going to be the move of choice to carve that opening back down. Nagi going out there though, and actually, Nagi being hit really sort of gave him the assist that he needed to be able to get out there in time.
100%. Oh, that could have been bad. Ribeiro able to get back out though, and a nice save from Seal as well. The Seer coming in clutch, making sure he gets out of that combo, but it could be too little too late. They're gonna need something massive. They need a team combo or something to be able to catch up at this point, and I feel almost like Nagi and Akuma are just playing with their food at this point. If they knock out Ribeiro, this is 5 stocks against 1 here.
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, look at that. The blue team with a little bit of a combo. That was a cute amount of damage, dare I say. And they're focusing on Akuma. They can take Akuma down to the last stock. That might be the only hope here. But,
oh my lord.
Nagi
That's
still able to make it back.
That commitment and a beautiful GC sidesing on top of that as well. Now we're here. 4 stocks against 1. CL, if you win this one, you'll turn into a hero.
Yeah, but you know what? It does take a heroic feat to be qualified as a hero here. It ain't looking so good. That's going to be Nagi just closing that one up with that Ensig. And that is going to be Red Team taking the first set of South America side stream in a very confident and dominant 3-1. I feel like between the two teams, this is not to say that the blue team played poorly. I just think the red team had that much more synergy. They had that much more damage output. They felt inseparable.